crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to my mess. I'm making a graduation card, and I'm using the Burst of Cheer dies, and this is from Concord and Ninth. These are really cool because you cut out these pegs, and then you add on top, like this one is a hooray, so you add you can do a different color or whatever and put it on the top here. And let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it ends up looking like. And I was just starting to go through and get these pieces cut and everything. I want to use this pattern paper as the peg part, and then I wanted to use the glitter paper. This is from Tonic, and it's the Welsh gold, I believe. And I want to put those as the hooray letters, but this paper isn't very strong, so I'm going to use a double-sided adhesive sheet to put these together, and then cut these out of here. And as we go, I'll show you how to build the whole thing. There's another piece. So this is the Pop-Up Burst base dies. So you would use this, and you put the pegs on here in a row. So when the recipient opens up the card, then it pops out with all the cool stuff. So I'll show you how to put this all together. And I am using this is the graduation collection from Echo Park to do that. So I'm just gonna die cut out a bunch of stuff, and then I will be right back. Alright, I was going through all this and putting this together. I'd cut out some of the sparkle ones. I had some matte gold for those, but I wanted to show you that I had made I don't know if you can see it because of the acetate, but so I used acetate, and then I cut out the stars, and then I did everything with double-sided adhesive to make it easier, and then just stuck them on these. So when we're building the card, these are going to stick up and add a little fun element to that. And there's small, medium, and large of that. So I was putting those together. So there's these three like this, and then you would use this, and then you can layer them up. You can do whatever you want with the colors on that. For the hooray, these are the letters. So I cut those out of the glitter, and then these are the pegs that I was talking about, and I had put a sheet of double-sided adhesive between the patterned paper and the just regular cardstock, because I wanted to make these have a little bit more oomph, because just the patterned paper by itself was a little thin, and since we're doing an interactive card, I wanted to give that a little bit of strength. So I was just going through and putting the letters on, so I have everything except the O's ready to go with this one, but I wanted to show you before I pull these out of here. On the backs of the O's, you can see right there it says first O, and this one says second O. So before I took these out of here, I wanted to make a notation, if I can find my pencil, on the back of here of which is which, because when we put it on the pop-up mechanism, it needs to be in this order, the first and then the second, to be able to fit correctly on the pop-up mechanism. If you had these swapped out, they would not be correct. So I'm gonna take these out of here and get the O's stuck on, and then we will move on to the next step. So this is a graduation card for my niece, so I wanted to make it extra specially awesome. So what I did is, I'll go through and show you how to fold this, but I stenciled with the Bursting Background Turnabout Stencil pack, and I used the one that looks like the confetti. There's also one in here that looks like flowers, and it's really cute. And I used the Lisa Horton Crafts metallic inks, and I used the Silver Shine, the Copper Pot, and then the Titanium and the Fool's Gold. I believe that's what it was. Yes. Okay. So, and the way that the stencil works is that this, if you've ever used a Concord and 9th Turnabout stamp, this is a Turnabout stencil. So what you do is you nestle this in the corner and you stencil the image, turn the stencil, and then do the image, turn the stencil. So it ends up building a beautiful pattern on your projects. So with this one, this will be the pop-out part, but then this part folds back on itself. So I wanted to make sure that I stenciled both sides, because you're going to see this part and then you're going to see this part. So I wanted to make sure that both sides were stenciled for that. And then we have the banner that's going to go across. This says "Let's Celebrate," and this is from the Burst of Cheer stamp set. And this is the, let me show you what it looks like. So it looks like this, and you cut it out, and it's got two little banner end pieces that we will glue on, and we do need to fold all of these things. And then you have this, I don't know what you want to call it, but it cuts two things, and you basically put these together and glue them behind, and everything is very well marked on that. So we have our pieces for that. With the banner pieces. Okay. And then you have this weird guide. It's like, it looks like a little teeter-totter. And I'll show you how to use that, but basically this will show you exactly where you need to place this on the card to get the pop-out effect. Alright. So I've gone ahead and started on the actual card, so then we can fill in with the rest of these pieces. So I used more of the graduation paper, and this is just one of the cut aparts, and then I backed that with a black matte, and that's Gina black Onyx. Then these little sparklies, they're so pretty. They don't add any bulk at all. They're completely flat. And these are the silver glitter dazzles, and these are from Paper Wishes. And then on the inside, so I wanted to have a whole background on here, but you don't want anything to get in the middle, in the way of the middle and the folding and everything. So I cut this, it was a continuous piece, I cut it into two pieces. I will list all the measurements in the description box, but I believe that it was 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So just a teeny tiny border around the edge. So now we have the card pretty much ready to go, and I stamp my stamp on the back, so we can get these put together, and I'll show you how everything goes. There are a lot of steps to it, and it's a little, not tedious, but there's a lot of folding and a lot of gluing and things like that, which isn't a big deal for a cool pop-up. So with these, everything is very well, if you can, maybe in the light, you can see the score lines there. So you just go around and score all these things, which will lead this back around to make a kind of like a diagonal square. So we're gonna glue this, maybe. Like, I think while I was sitting here, my glue clogged up on me. Come on. And so you just fold that over to match it and line it up, and I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to hold that for me while we're working on the other one. Okay, so then we can get, I did dry this a little bit with my heat tool. Hopefully it's good to go. I really don't want to smear it up. Just gonna press gently. I think this one actually goes this way. So it's gonna look like that. And you can see right there. So the dotted line is for where we're going to be putting these little pop-up things, but the score line looking one, that is where we're going to attach it on here. I got a little glue ooze, so I'm just going to use my pokey to get that off. Alright, I'll let that set up a little bit. Alright, so we got our two little thingamajiggies. Alright, so this one, and you can see there's a lot of embossed lines, score lines, all of that. Let me show you the picture. So we're making this kind of a pop-out pocket thing so that we can put all of our hooray on there, and then we have our banner. So we need to build this. So this is what I was saying about how this part actually folds back over this. And there's two score lines here, so you want to make sure you get both. It makes like a little space there. And then I'm also, because this is the opposite way of the die cut, it's got that, you know, like die cut lines. I'm just using my bone folder to smooth that down. Okay, so we got 1, 2, the middle one, and then here again there's 2 lines. So the 1 and the 2. And let me see, this little tab mark is going to get glued, this tab mark. It's like a little guide for that. So this is basically what it looks like when it's all done. And then there's this tiny tab here on the bottom that you fold in. And this creates that point for where this fits in here. Trying to think which we should do first for the order of operations here. I've seen a lot of people kind of build this in the air, and then they've got to like hold it and all this stuff, so I don't know, I might just glue it before we put it together. I feel like that might make sense. We shall find out. And if you can see here on the bottom, this is cut at the exact angle of this, and this is part of the reason why the O's were 2 different. They had to go in the correct order because the bottoms need to be able to line up correctly. Alright, so trying to figure out, do we tape? Do we glue? Where's our R? It walked away. Oh. Okay. I think probably glue. You just want to evenly space them out. Alright, so we can try some glue, see how it goes. Alright. So look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. I love that. That is so fun. Alright. So I think now the best thing is probably to get this attached. And then maybe once it's in the card, we can figure out where to put the stars. This is a little awkward to line up a little bit, but because it's got that extra like a gusset almost. Alright, so we have our hooray. Let's get these glued on because they need to set up a little bit. And again, if you look, the dotted lines, you just get one that matches and put that right where those dotted lines are. And you just want to make sure that you follow the shape of the dotted line on there. Alright, so we'll let that get set up. Now what we need to do, this is kind of the interesting thing. So you take this little weird teeter-totter piece, and on here it has center score line, and you look through the middle, and then the bottom of the card. So you look through, you want this on the very bottom, and then you look through to the score line, and make sure everything is even and good. And then what you do is you draw the V, and then you draw here, and that's where those weird little rectangle pieces are going to get glued. So this is just a guide, so you know where everything goes. So we have the V here, and then we have those little diagonal pieces. So this goes on first. And there's a pointy right there, and that is going to go on that point. I'm trying to think if I like the idea of tape, but I think we need the wiggle room of the glue, unfortunately. And so you want to make sure your score line is, the middle of this is lined up with the middle of this, and that you are also on the V on the bottom. And then you can take your bone folder. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm gonna use a little palette knife thing. Just squish that down. Oh, haha. It's just going very slowly. Ah! More glue. Yeah, I feel like we need tape. But, oh, we were so close. So close. Alright, we are going with tape. I'm going to use the red line. I'm also thinking about doing one side at a time. And you can also fold it in half and then shut this on top. There you go. That's the trick. now that we made it through that. Now we need to put this on here. Oh, this is so cute. I think I'm going to use the tape again. I think with the interactiveness of it, the tape is a little bit easier. And then so you're looking for this little, groove. So this is just gonna sit right in that. Hooray! Literally. Oh my goodness. Alright. I think I'm gonna have to put a square on the back so that I can write on the back there. Or you can maybe put like a little panel here. But anyway, it's very, very festive. Look at that. Alright, so we have time for a huge celebration with our sparkle dazzles on there. And then you open it up. Hooray! Let's celebrate. And then on the back we can put a white thing there. Ooh, we forgot about the stars. All that excitement. The only thing to keep in mind about the stars is that you want to be careful not to extend too far out. And then the stars can also go behind, like in the little pocket there. So, let's see. I think since it's acetate, well, you could do a glue dot. I'd be afraid it'd stick out a little bit though. Ooh, look at that. That's fun. Alright, let's get a sparkly one. This is the fun part because then you can figure out where do you want to put stuff. Okay, I think we are finally all done with this card. We made it. Alright, we had the patterned graduation paper on the back. We had a cut apart. We had these super sparkly dazzles from Paper Wishes. Then when you open it, hooray! We have this awesome pop-up. We have, again, the background patterned paper. And we have the hooray and lots of stars and the let's celebrate. And that folds nicely. And then on the back, I just cut a small panel. This is 4 by 3.5. Stuck some extra stars on there. Once I write this out, I will put this, I just use temporary adhesive for now so you can get the idea. But once I write it, I will put it in with permanent adhesive. So I think that is it after this, quite the adventure on this, but we got it all figured out, and this is a pretty awesome card to give to somebody. So I love these little stars on the top. So alright, that is it. I will list everything I used today in the description box. I do have affiliate links. Come join me over on Facebook and Pinterest and my new blog at egidesigns.com. I will put all of the measurements as well in the description box, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, and if you aren't already a subscriber, I would love it if you could click that button and join my crafty community. Until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Here are a couple more videos I thought you might like. Thanks so much for watching.